evening and welcome to May 21st, 1941. I'm Henry Chap, your host, and I will tell you what we are going to listen to tonight in just a minute. If you enjoy the content of this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage radio, music, and films that we share, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to consistently post this wonderful content. We like to think that this channel is more interesting and entertaining than any other World War II channel on YouTube. Help us keep going by donating. In the expanded description section to this video, you will find two links for which to donate. One is for PayPal and the other is for a GoFundMe. If the GoFundMe link is outdated on this video, go to this channel's description or our latest video where you will find an updated link. Any little bit helps. Yeah, just pull that mouse over to that subscribe button and click it and get us in that Google algorithm. I would really appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a great work week. It's been kind of rainy here in the Chicago area this weekend, hot and muggy, and it's, well, a typical Midwest summer, but we are in the spring of 1941, so we are not quite yet up to those hot temperatures. But I do love the nighttime thunderstorms. Ooh, it makes it great to listen to scary stuff when those happen. Anyway, let me tell you what we're going to listen to tonight. We have the Goldbergs, 2:15 in the afternoon over CBS. Then at 2:30, we're going to tune the dial over to your NBC Red outlet, with which in Chicago, you would be tuning over from 780 on the dial, and WBBM, you'd be tuning that over to 670 on the dial to NBC Red to listen to Vic and Sade. And then at 4:30 in the afternoon, you're going to tune up to 720 on the dial to WGN and the Mutual outlet and listen to the Lone Ranger. And you're going to keep it on WGN because they were carrying the syndicated Adventures of Superman at 7:15 in the evening. And then at 8 o'clock in the evening, you're going to tune it back over to 780 on the dial in the WBBM Air Theater. So that's what they used to bill themselves as, the WBBM Air Theater, Wrigley Building, Chicago, and the Texaco Star Theater with Fred Allen. And in this episode, he tackles the topic, what's wrong with radio? And to this very day, we are still trying to figure that out, right? Oh, yes, good old Fred Allen, a great satirist, great satirist. All right, well, without any further talking from me, let's turn on that old tube radio. That's our time machine, and give this stuff a listen.
And now, the Goldbergs. The world always has more surprises for us than we expect. And the world of the Goldbergs has had many surprises for them recently. Now that they know that Sammy is broken with Sylvia, now that Jake and Molly know what Sammy thinks of this girl who ruined everyone and everything she touched, the whole family is anxious to leave Carolina as soon as they can and get back home to Glastonbury. As far as the family is concerned, it's only a question of packing, leaving, and perhaps regretting. But people do not relinquish the claims of the heart so easily, as we'll all soon see. Listen.
Molly, when I tell you the apple don't fall far from the tree, I know what I was talking about. Show me the tree, and I'll tell you what fruit to expect.
All right, Jake, please. Maybe Allison didn't hang up on the telephone on you.
He did, Molly.
All right, so maybe he's nervous, too. His family told him everything, so he's nervous, too, Jake. Yes?
Ma.
Stanley's coming.
Oh, Sam.
That's good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Alone?
Uh-huh.
Why, that's good. Not with Sylvia, huh?
Rosalie said alone, Molly.
All right. Not with Sylvia, not with Miss Allison. Huh?
Rosalie said alone.
All right. Come up, Rosalie.
Where are you running?
I'll go up, Jake. You tell Sammy that I know everything.
Why can't you?
It'll be easier that way, Jake. Yes?
Yes.
Come, Rosalie. Come. And Jake, darling, tell him gently.
I'll tell him gently.
Say that I'm packing if he asks where I am.
I'll say you're packing.
All right, darling, but just gently. Yes, please. Just gently. Just gently.
Pamela?
Yeah.
You spoke to Allison, Sammy?
Yes. Where's Mama?
Mama's upstairs.
Well, she has to know, Pa.
Stay where you are. Mama knows, Sammy. She knew before I knew.
What did she know? How much did she know?
She knew you wasn't on a business trip. She knew you sent a telegram. She knew the Allisons were lying. She also knew that Sylvia's brother-in-law was the one that warned her not to let you come down here in the first place.
What about Ed and Sylvia?
That, I told her. The rest is up to you.
There's nothing else.
Then, what are we waiting for? Why don't we,
Ma?
Yes. Jake, I'm nearly all packed. Just for you to put yourself in your valise.
I'll do it.
No. Let Papa go. Go, Jake. Pamela,
Yes, Ma.
are we all leaving together? Are we all going home together? Huh, Pamela?
I don't love her anymore, Ma, if that's what you're asking me.
With what, Pamela?
But she loves me, Ma. Oh, I wish it was the other way around. I don't want to hurt anybody, not even her.
She hurt you, Pamela. She hurt you. And if hurting yourself, you must do it, Pamela. You must, darling. You can't marry her, Pamela.
I told Mr. Allison I wasn't going to.
Oh, you did tell Miss Allison.
And I told Sylvia. Oh, I know I'm right. I know with all the reason I have that I shouldn't marry her. That's why I told her. And yet...
Yet what, Pamela?
Yet, I feel this is the wrong way for this whole thing to end.
What do you feel, Pamela? Tell me.
I don't know.
Say it any way you can. Say it any way you can. I'll understand even if you use the wrong word.
Well, I just don't have any words. Like you don't know what to say when someone you love dies. You know what I mean, Ma? Maybe it's just foolishness, like hoping you'll wake up and find it's a dream. Maybe I'm hoping something will turn up and everything I know is true will turn out to be false. A miracle or something, huh?
Miracle? Men shouldn't call for miracles, except when nothing they can do can save them. A miracle, family, is in the hand of God. It's the hand of God stretched out to help when we no longer can have our own hand. And you, family, your life is not over. What you wanted, what you dreamed, what you hoped for doesn't end and finish with Sylvia. You have your whole life yet, and you have yourself. Between them, you will find whatever your heart desires. You need no miracle, family. You need only yourself. And yourself you still have. You still have yourself. Jake?
Yes.
Where you going, family?
Upstairs.
What did you say to him, Molly?
You see.
And?
Nothing. Go up, Jake, darling, to him. Tell family what life without love can mean for a man.
That I can't tell him, Molly. That hasn't been my life. My life with you has been with love, not without it.
Oh, whatever, Jake. Whatever, darling. Jake, dear, family's not family yet.
Ma!
Yes?
Here comes Sylvia.
Sylvia's coming? Oh, Jake, Sylvia's coming. Then, Jake, darling, you go upstairs.
Molly, you go up.
No, please, Jake.
Ma, please.
Go up, Jake. Don't stand. Go up to family, Jake, please.
What are you going to tell her, Molly?
Maybe nothing.
Come up, Papa, darling. You'll lose your temper.
Jake, darling, please.
Please, Pa.
Please go upstairs.
Molly, please. I have a few things to tell her before I leave.
Jake,
Papa,
please.
darling, please come upstairs.
Not
I said
before
go
I see what I
upstairs.
have to say. You can be silent, Molly, not me.
Papa, please,
I have
I
to say
want
something.
you to go upstairs.
I want to talk to her.
You talk
I
to
want
her.
to tell her I don't see it.
Rosalie, you stay upstairs. You stay upstairs.
Where's Sammy? We're leaving, Sylvia.
No, Sammy, you haven't accomplished that much.
No? Well, Why should Sammy stay?
Why shouldn't he? If you want him to go, that's no reason for him to leave. Why don't you say something, Mrs. Goldberg? This is the great opportunity you've always wanted. You have plenty to say. Say it. You never liked me. You never liked me when you knew nothing at all about me. When I was only someone visiting you, a stranger. You were jealous of anyone who might love you. You tried in every way you could to separate them. And now you can say I told you so. You must be very happy.
I'm not happy at all, Sylvia.
You know everything, don't you?
I always knew.
Then why don't you enjoy yourself and tell me all the things I am? Why don't you say I'm a cheat and a liar and a fraud? Why don't you run through the list and check off what I've done? Everyone else is. You hated me without reason. Now you have more reasons than someone like you needs. Why don't you say them? Go on. Say them.
The only thing I can say is that you're not for Sammy. I knew that when I first saw you, Sylvia. And not for the reasons you say. People don't live day by day with such big things. They live with small ones, little habits, little ways that I use over and over and over again every day. Things as important and plain as bread and butter. In Glastonbury, I knew that those things you didn't have. And that's why you wasn't for Sammy. You lived for yourself, for what you wanted. You couldn't see that other people had dreams. You didn't have a mind for their hopes or an ear for their ideals or a heart for what someone else might believe in. You didn't care that Sammy wanted to be a certain kind of a man. What you wanted was the man you would make out of him for yourself. That's how I knew. And these stories that I heard, the lies and the suffering and the pain that I found when I came here, I don't even understand them. And I don't want to. I don't care about them.
That's all very noble, Mrs. Gold.
Noble or not, it's true.
I'm greatly impressed.
I'm not trying to make an impression, Sylvia. I'm just telling you that we're all going, all of us, Sammy too.
But you're still here, Mrs. Goldberg. You haven't left yet.
Molly listens and looks at Sylvia with an anxious astonishment. Sylvia is standing and waiting. That streak of willfulness in her nature which keeps flooding to the surface appears again. What can she do?
Stay tuned next for Vic and Sade.
And now get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Vic and Sade. Well, sir, it's about 7 o'clock as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room we find all our friends assembled, including Sade's Uncle Fletcher. Uncle Fletcher is seated beside young Rush on the Davenport, and we hear him say,
"Yes, I carry considerable keys in my pocket, always have.
I never saw so many in one bunch.
Better than 100 here.
Don't they weigh you down?
Some.
Let me heft them once.
Fine.
Golly, did you ever see so many keys? Look once, Guy.
Holy smoke.
All through life, I've carried a big bunch of keys. Made it a point never to throw a key away. Somebody told me one time it's bad luck to throw keys away. Ever hear that, Sadie?
No, I don't believe so.
Tell you who gave me that information.
All right.
Harry McFitcher.
Hmm.
You recollect Harry likely.
No. Dixon man?
Belvedere. Here's the party I was telling you about that fell off the piano stool, got his knee caught in his necktie, and choked to death before anybody could get him untangled.
Goodness.
I did tell you about that, didn't I?
Well, I don't quite remember it.
Fine.
Your anecdotes, Uncle Fletcher, are always so startling.
Uh-huh. No, Harry was visiting a young lady there in Belvedere, and after supper, everybody was lazied around the living room, and the young lady's papa said, "Step over to the piano, Harry, and slam us out of tune." You say you don't remember Harry, Sadie? Fella could play the piano like a cyclone. Young lady's papa said, "Step over to the piano, Harry, and slam us out of tune." Harry whirled the stool around a few times, sat down, lost his footing, crashed to the floor, and began to squirm. Nobody knew what was the matter. Come to find out, Harry'd got his knee caught in his necktie. Died on the spot.
My lands.
Very sad thing.
My stars, yes.
They wrote it up in the Freeport papers and all around.
Do you use all these keys, Uncle Fletcher?
Oh, no. Don't use a tenth of 'em.
I was gonna say.
This here key is my door key at home.
Uh-huh.
Now, this half-wit key, as far as I know, don't unlock anything.
Oh.
Fancy would know.
Yeah, that little curly-cues and junk.
Might be a bookcase key. Bookcase keys are generally like this.
No, ours is.
Fine. No, I carry keys. Take some fellas, they don't carry keys, but I do. I carry keys.
Oh.
Delicious supper, Sadie.
Oh, thank you.
Here's a big son of a gun of a key.
That key, Rush, unlocks a tool house on the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad.
Yeah?
Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad.
Huh.
I've carried it for more than 20 years.
Huh.
I always figure carrying a big bunch of keys helps a fellow make a good impression on people.
Oh, so?
Beg pardon, Vic?
What's your line of reasoning?
Uh-huh.
You just said you figured carrying keys makes a good impression on people. Gov wonders how you come to that conclusion.
Oh, wondered about that, huh, Vic?
Yeah.
No, it's the way you're built, I guess. I carry keys. Maybe you don't carry keys.
I only carry the ones I use.
Sure. Well, I can understand that.
Leland Richards lugs a lot of keys around with him.
Leland is a good boy.
He hasn't got as many as you've got, but he's got enough to weigh his pockets down to where it looks like he's carrying a brick around with him.
Leland's all right. I saw Leland just this afternoon. Delicious supper, Sadie.
I thought it was pretty fair myself.
Uh-huh. No, I'll tell you, Rush. Fella carry plenty of keys on him, and people look up to you.
Is that right?
I say I'm going into a store to buy a pair of sleeve garters.
Uh-huh.
I tell the half-wit clerk I want sleeve garters. Tell him I want good sleeve garters. Good sleeve garters and no nonsense or back talk. Then I pull my bunch of keys out of my pocket and twirl them around, careless and absent-minded. Half-wit clerk's eyes will bug out every time. He'll jump up sharp and look alive. It's the same principle as when you flash a big wad of money. Some fellas do that. Some fellas flip out a roll of bills as fat as your leg. But I find a big bunch of keys gets the same results. Yeah, I carry keys.
Oh.
You guys want to play rummy?
We're chatting along fine, Vic.
Okay.
Maybe you'd like to pop some popcorn after a while.
Not at all.
Well, seems like we ought to do something to entertain you.
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
What's this little bit of a key?
Watch key.
Watch key?
Rush, haven't you ever seen a key winder or watch?
No.
I can recall one that wasn't any other kind. Remember the old key winder I used to have, Sadie?
Oh, you bet I do.
I used to hold it up to you and Bessie's ear.
Uh-huh. Do you still have it at home?
That watch got smashed into 40 pieces.
Oh, really?
I lent it to Charlie Ingalls, and Charlie got mad at Ed Werper and threw it at him. Half-wit watch bounced off Ed's head and hit the side of a building. The watch wasn't worth 30 cents afterwards.
I call it bad judgment to throw a watch at a guy.
Fine. I suppose you knew Charlie Ingalls, didn't you?
The Dixon fella?
Yeah, born and raised in Belvedere. I think they used to tell it on Charlie he never was outside of Belvedere city limits. Hot-tempered as a horse. Well, he threw my watch at Ed Werper. Hit him, too, right in the head. Ed howled like a panther.
Maybe there's some nice card game we all four could play.
Well, sure. Trot up a few chairs.
Here, Rush, is a key a fellow handed me one time.
Handed you?
Out of a clear sky. Never saw the fellow before and never saw him since. I was walking along the street in Dexter, Missouri. I felt a nudge on my elbow, and here's a man in a straw hat and nose glasses. Take this, he says. He had me the key, and I turned around and run down the street. Make head or tail to that?
No.
Make head or tail to that, Vic?
No.
Make head or tail to that, Sadie?
No.
Well, I couldn't make head or tail to it. Thought about it considerable, too. Get down to Dexter, Missouri much, Vic?
Never set foot in the place.
Fine. No, you take it like I'm going into a lunchroom or somewhere. Say to the clerk, look, my friend, 2 eggs over easy. I don't want any delay, and I don't want any cute remarks. 2 eggs over easy and hustle. Then I out with my big bunch of keys. Does the trick every time. That waiter will take one look and Then his jaw would drop open and he would trot off after my eggs like a racehorse.
I never thought you were the kind of a gentleman that talks sharp and cross to waiters, Uncle Fletcher.
Uh-huh. Oh, they respect you more, see? Fellow with a big bunch of keys on him gives the impression he is somebody. I've worked it time and time again. Remember Ollie Mudfigle?
No.
Married Helen Yeaps?
Dixon people?
Yeah. Born and raised in Belvedere, just like Charlie Higgles. Well, one time Ollie and myself were going to take in a picture show at Freeport. Ollie stepped up to the ticket window and bought a ticket. I was right behind him and tore him a big bunch of keys. The girl selling tickets took one glance at my keys and said, "You may go in free of charge, sir."
Well.
Ollie Mudfigle. Died in a funny way, Ollie.
I bet he did.
Beg pardon, Vic?
Did he swallow a knife and fork?
Who, Ollie? No.
I bet he tripped over a mad dog.
No, he didn't. Ollie Mudfigle got his head caught in a suitcase.
Oh, my.
He was packing his suitcase to take a trip to Newton, Iowa. I suppose you get around to Newton, Iowa considerable, Vic.
Never been there.
Fine. He was packing his suitcase and his wife was helping him. Half-wit suitcase was so full they couldn't get it shut. Ollie says, "Hey, Helen, sit on the half-wit suitcase." Well, sir, she sat on the half-wit suitcase, never noticed that Ollie's head was inside.
He died?
He died.
Oh, my.
Yes, very sad thing.
All your pals seem to end up passing away under very tragic circumstances, Uncle Fletcher.
Right. No, everybody felt bad about Ollie. Very popular fellow around Belvedere there. Delicious supper tonight, Sadie.
Thank you.
I'll pop popcorn after a while if you want it.
All right.
Around 8 o'clock, 8:30, 8:45. 9 o'clock, 9:15. We'll feel like popping a little popcorn.
Uh-huh.
How about a four-handed game of rummy?
Yeah, let's play rummy, everybody.
Okay.
How about it, Uncle Fletcher? A nice game of cards, and afterwards we'll get out the popcorn popper.
Fine.
Here's your keys, Uncle Fletcher.
Yeah, I carry keys. All through my life I've carried keys. Made the point never to throw away a key.
Uh-huh.
I carry keys.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. And here we leave Vic and Sade until the next time.
Stay tuned next for The Lone Ranger.
With the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. From the hills of Wyoming to the mountains of Mexico, the Lone Ranger led the fight for law and order in the western United States. Whenever men gathered around the campfire, stories were told of his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for the Rio Grande. There's going to be trouble. Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
The Lone Ranger and Tonto had found shelter from the storm in a cave less than a quarter of a mile from the Rio Grande. Suddenly, from somewhere between the cave and the river, several shots rang out.
Steady, Silver. Tonto, did you hear that?
Someone shoot?
Yes, and where there's shooting, there's generally trouble. Now, wait here. I'm going out and find out what the shooting means.
You stay. Tonto go.
I'd rather go myself. As soon as I got my gun belt on, I'll go on foot. Horses' hoofs make too much noise.
Tonto put out campfire?
No, let the fire burn. If someone comes here, I'll be outside. Let them talk, and we might learn more about the shooting. I'll not be far away. Sounded as if the shots came from the south. Hard to tell, though.
When the masked man reached the edge of the woods, he stopped. The sound of running feet reached him, and then the hard breathing of someone on the verge of exhaustion.
Oh, 1 minute. Oh, wait. Stay here.
Let me go. Let me go.
Here, who fired those shots?
None of your business. Please, let me go.
Very well, I'll let you go. Where do you think you're going?
Away from here. Away from here. Oh, what? I slipped. Oh, what's the use?
You won't go to that mud hole, young lady. There, now, take it easy. Up you come. Are you hurt?
No.
And there's a shelter within 20 yards of here. You can see the light of the campfire. Let me help you there.
Who are you, anyway? You don't talk like one of the Bascom gang.
I'm not one of the Bascom gang. You're cold, aren't you?
It's
Don't try to talk until you're warm. Meanwhile, please don't be afraid. We're almost at the cave.
Me come help.
The girl's exhausted, Tonto. Get some blankets ready and put some food on the fire to get warm.
the coldest.
Are you sure you didn't hurt yourself when you fell?
No, the ground was soft. I should have hurt myself on the hard ground than still in that mud hole. Look at me.
That's the spirit. When you're concerned about your appearance, it's a sign you're getting over your fear.
How'd you know I was afraid?
Well, why would you run so blindly into a woods on a night like this if you weren't?
Well, I suppose that's true.
Now, those shots, were they fired at you?
Yes.
By whom?
Look here, stranger. I don't see that it's any of your business. I don't know who you are, and I had work to do.
Work?
That's just what I said.
Me got food on fire. Ready plenty quick now.
Well, thanks for the invitation, but I'm not staying here long enough to eat.
Where are you?
Quiet. Let me just... Do you hear anyone?
No.
Yes, it's all right, then. They didn't come after me. Thanks for giving me the chance to catch my breath, stranger. Now I've got to go.
You are a peculiar girl.
And you're masked.
I forgot about being masked. Please don't misjudge me for wearing it.
I've no time to form any opinion on you, so the mask doesn't matter a bit. Here's your blanket. Thanks for the use of the fire.
You aren't leaving until the rain lets up.
Why not? Can't get any wetter than I am.
Hardly, but you can get a lot drier. Now, sit down.
I'm armed, mister.
Oh, I see you are.
I'm armed, and I know how to use this gun. Please don't force me to use it. I like your style so far and hate like the dickens to double-cross you, but I've got to do it.
Double-cross me?
That's what I said. I've got to blame you for something I've done. It's the only way I know of.
I've been blamed for a lot of things, and I'm quite used to it. If it will help you to accuse me of anything you've done, go right ahead. But won't you tell me what...
I'd like to tell you honestly, I would, but I can't. I can't
your
even
name,
tell you my name.
You mentioned the Bascom gang.
I shouldn't even have said that much. But thanks for everything.
Tonto, go get her.
Wait, Tonto, let her go. I'm going to follow as soon as she has a little lead. That girl's in trouble. She's terrified. There's something about her face that was familiar. I wonder where I've seen her, or someone who looked like her.
Well, Tonto, member lawman. Him look like her.
I know, that's right. Now listen to me, Kimosabe. I'm going to follow her. You come along about half an hour behind me. If I get into a trap of some sort, I'll count on your help. If there's anything to tell you, I'll leave a message.
Jed Bascom stood at his desk in the living room of the cabin. Two men who bore the stamps of outlaws watched him as he examined the contents of the desk.
I guess I scared the crook away before he got anything.
Sure of that, Bascom?
Can't take no chances on having some of the things in your desk get out.
I'm checking once more to make sure.
Too bad you didn't drill the critter. Any idea who it was that tried to rob you?
No.
Jed, you all right?
Don't I look it? Where have you been, Martha?
Bed, of course. Heard the shooting and ducked. Who was it, lawman?
I reckon so.
Where'd they go? Figured the best thing for me to do was stay and hide until I learned more of what was going on here.
Went into your mind to come with a gun and see if I needed help, would it?
Listen, Bascom. I told you when I married you that I was willing to let you go on with your smuggling and all that sort of thing as long as I had all the pretty clothes and cash I wanted. I also told you I wasn't going to live here with any misunderstanding. I ain't to get into no gunfights, and if the law catches up with you, it's your worry, not mine. I didn't say I'd marry you, and you could count on me to be the loyal woman that'd stick with you through thick and thin. Get that straight.
I got it straight. I ain't said nothing about it.
All right, then. Don't throw it up at me if I don't come shooting when I hear gunplay. What happened?
Well, the prowler came here. I heard him and come into this room. Then I reckon he heard me. He ducked.
Got away, huh?
He didn't get nothing, though, ma'am.
Don't matter if he did or not. It's a sign he knows where to look for evidence again, you polecat.
Now, look here, Miss Bascom. Even if you are Jed's wife, you ain't the right to...
I've got the right to say what I like, and if you don't like what I say, get out.
Well,
that goes for you, too, Jed Bascom. Where's the girl?
I don't know. I don't see her from one day to the next.
You mean to say she slept through all that shooting?
Maybe she's hiding, too.
Maybe. I'll go see.
Well, you're at it. Find out how much longer she's going to have to stay here with us.
I will. I'm tired of her being here, same as you are. Hey, you, wake up. You I'm talking at. Wake up.
What's the matter?
Set yourself up in that bed. I hankered to have a few words with you.
Oh, it's you, Miss Bascom. What time is it?
Tain't getting up time yet. Where was you during the shooting?
Shooting?
Mean to say you didn't hear no gunfire a while ago?
I might have, but guess I thought I'd been dreaming. There's something wrong?
I don't know.
But shooting, gunplay, what's it all about?
Nothing that concerns you. How's that ankle of yours?
It's getting better, thank you.
Seems like it's been healing a long time now. Odd that a spill from a horse had hurt you so.
I'll be able to travel another couple of days, I'm sure of it, Miss Bascom.
All right, then. I'll count on that.
I'm dreadfully sorry that I put you and your husband to so much inconvenience.
Never mind being sorry. Where you figure on going when you leave here?
Well, when I fell from my horse, I was on my way to El Paso.
Relatives there?
Good friends, not relatives.
I see. You didn't hear no shooting, huh?
Well,
There's something about you strikes me odd.
What do you mean?
Seems like I've seen you before somewheres. What relatives you got?
None.
Let me get that lamp and have another look at your face.
Oh, but
what? Would you like to be looked at?
Well, that is...
Bothered me ever since I first set eyes on you. There. Now look at me.
That light hurts my eyes.
You'll get used to it in a minute. Draw your hair back from your face.
Like this?
Uh-huh. Dad rat it. I wish I could remember where I seen a face like yours. You said you didn't have no relatives?
None living. I'm sure I've never seen you before.
Said your name was Wakefield, didn't you?
Yes.
First name?
Abby.
Don't ring familiar no way.
Miss Bascom, I think
Wait.
I know where your mail's been.
Just wait a minute, Abby Wakefield. Let me see what this means. Your riding clothes wet and mud-soaked. How'd they get that way?
Well,
First rain since you come here's been tonight, ain't it?
Well, yes.
You've been out of this house. Mud there on the window. That's how you got back in again, ain't it?
I know you'll think I'm crazy.
Go on. Talk, Miss Abby. Let me hear what your story is. You got such a bad hurt ankle that you can't hardly stand on it, but here's your riding clothes and your boots.
I know you were anxious for me to leave, so I dressed and tried to leave.
Mm-hmm. Spilled in the mud and come back, huh?
Yes, spilled in the mud. Come back.
Had the boots on. Thought your ankle was swelled so you couldn't get 'em on. Let me see that ankle.
Please.
You be still. Let me have a look. Just as I thought. Ain't no sign of a hurt ankle.
Put your hands up, Martha Bascom.
Got a gun, huh?
And I'll use it.
Now I savvy. Now I know how you look familiar. It's your father. You got the same chin as he had. Your right name's Abby Watkins, and your old man was John Watkins, the lawman.
That's right. And he was murdered.
You know who killed him?
I got notions about that, but ain't saying what they are.
He was trying to run down a pack of smugglers. The pack was led by Jed Bascom.
Mm-hmm.
Paul came here, and that's the last anyone saw of him alive. Was found dead. Made to look as if he'd fallen over a ravine on his horse. But I know different. I'm here to get the evidence that my pa was after when he died.
You're a downright ambitious girl, ain't you?
In case you're wondering about it, I'm the one who searched through Jed's desk tonight, and I'm the one he fired at in the dark.
Now that you got the drop on me, what you figure on doing? Shoot me, and Jed and his pals will come here on the run. Don't shoot me, and I'll tell Jed who you are.
Yeah, I know.
You haven't got the whip hand that you think you have, Abby. You're in a bad spot, and you can't win. Now, if you'll take my advice, you'll just take up them clothes, put up that gun, and get out of the window. Travel fast and keep on going. You'll have a couple minutes start, and if you pick the right horse, that'll be enough.
I came here to get evidence against Jed Bascom. I'm not leaving without that evidence.
Tell me some more. Maybe you know how you'll get it and get away with it.
Martha, open this door. Open it up.
Tell him to go away.
Wash your hands and drop that gun.
Good work, Squint. Watch her. Come on in, Jed.
I got it covered, boss.
What you doing, Murphy?
Holding a gun and making threats.
I found out who she is. Here, mister, take a good look.
That's the girl, all right.
So, stand up, Abby Watkins. I know who you are now.
You...
Yes, Abby. I remembered where I'd seen that cleft chin before. Your father had one like it.
Playing the hurt and coming here to get evidence on me, huh?
That's what you was doing, Jed.
Good thing I had Squint go around outside and cover her through the window.
All right, Bascom. You know the truth. You've got me. Thanks to that man.
Yes, Abby. Thanks to me.
For a little while, I liked your style. Well, go on. Who's going to be the one to shoot me?
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When the smugglers learned Abby Watkins' real identity through the Lone Ranger, the girl turned on the masked man.
And I thought you were a real man. You told me you weren't a crook in spite of your mask.
Did I tell you that?
Yes.
So she's Abby Watkins, eh? Now, what do you know about that?
More than that, Jed. Her ankle ain't hurt at all. And take a look at these riding clothes. She was the one that tried to search through your desk tonight.
Well, this is all mighty interesting. Mighty interesting.
All right, Bascom, you got me. Why don't you shoot me?
Plenty of time for that, Abby.
Boss, who is this hombre, anyhow?
Yes, stranger, who are you?
If I wasn't on your side, do you think I'd come here and warn you about this girl?
It don't seem so.
That ain't telling who he is, though.
You keep out of this, Murphy. Me and you have a lot to talk about, stranger.
Yes, we have.
I reckon you're hanker to join up with me, huh?
I guess almost any man would be glad of the chance to join an outfit that's as powerful as yours, Bascom. If he didn't care about staying inside the law.
Good enough. I like the way you wear them guns. You look like a man that could handle them real good.
I'll manage them if there's need to.
Good.
Now then, Bascom, I want the chance to talk to this girl.
For what?
There's nothing to talk about.
That's where you're wrong, Abby. There's a lot to talk about.
I have nothing to say.
Bascom, I came here to get some information from her. That's the reason I've been trailing her. The fact that you've been helped is just incidental.
What do you mean?
My main purpose is to find out about some friends of mine, and I think she'll be able to give me the information.
Go on, talk to him.
Alone.
Well, we'll leave you be.
One other thing. Have you someplace you can hold her captive?
I don't know. We don't generally keep prisoners here.
A cyclone cellar or something like that?
We got the cellar, boss. Ain't no way of getting there save from the trapdoor. We could lock her there.
That'll do fine. Put her down there, and I'll talk to her later.
You come on, girl. It's down cellar for you.
That masked man needn't think I'll talk to him. My lips are sealed, and I don't care what's done. I know my life's as good as gone. There isn't anything you can say or promise that'll make me give the slightest bit of information. But get this, all of you.
Shut her up.
You better hear me. Because these are the last words I'll ever say. You're all headed for a downfall. It's always getting harder and harder to beat all the time. You can kill some men, like my father. Some people like me. But just as sure there's a blue sky overhead, every last one of you'll end up on the rope of the hangman. Now, where's that cellar? I'm ready.
This way.
She sure is a spunky girl, isn't she?
Gosh, boss, ain't it a shame a girl like that has got to be so doggone foolish and reckless?
Hey, stranger, how about taking off that mask now that you're with friends?
I'm not sure yet, but I am with friends.
What'll make you sure?
I'll have to know you better, then decide for myself. What was that?
Trapdoor to the cellar being shut. Squint, you take care of the outside door.
Right enough, boss. I'll tend to it right away.
Well, Bascom, now that we're alone...
Yeah. Me and you can come to a sort of understanding, can't we?
Just how big an outfit do you have?
Big enough.
How big?
I ain't saying nothing about that. But you can be sure I got all the men I need, unless I can get a man that's special, like what you seem to be. What sort of working arrangement you got in mind?
Percentage.
Maybe it could be worked out.
You keep records of some sort, don't you?
Maybe.
I'll have to look them over.
Now?
Oh, not right now. I wouldn't expect you to show me your records until we know each other. I just wanted to find out if I was talking to a good businessman.
You won't find none better.
That's all I wanted to know for the time being.
Now, what about you?
What about me?
How do I know what to count on in you? Where are you from? What have you done? And what in tarnation do you look like?
There's plenty of time for that. I think I'll have a talk with the girl now.
Well, help yourself.
Where's that trap door?
This way. What did you want to talk to her about?
If it was anything I wanted you to know, I'd talk in front of you.
Don't give out much information, do you?
You want someone who tells all he knows to be a member of your gang?
That's right. Nabbit, you've got the right answer for everything, ain't you? This is it.
Open it.
You want me to lock it when you get down there?
That doesn't matter.
There's a couple of candles on the table at the foot of the stairs. You got matches?
Yes.
You needn't think I'll give you any information.
All right, Bascom, you can shut the door now.
Right. Just holler when you want to come up.
Abby, please listen for a moment.
You double-crossed
Wait.
him.
I didn't tell him who you were until his wife had found out about you.
I won't listen.
Martha Bascom had you, and you know it. You held a gun on her, but she told you that you were in a spot. You couldn't keep her covered forever, and you couldn't shoot her. She knew you were Abby Watkins.
I won't listen to a thing.
Abby, I'm here to help you. Won't you try to understand?
Fine, help you. What'd you say?
I want to help you. I'm here because you're certain to be killed by the Bascom gang. They won't let you get away from here alive, now that they know who you are. They already knew you before I spoke.
How did you know?
I heard the conversation between you and Martha.
You did?
I came from the woods shortly after you left me. I heard Martha when she found out who you were. I left word for Tonto and gave him instructions.
Instructions?
We've got to count on him to carry through a part of my plan.
But you told Bascom who I was.
Before I did that, I realized that nothing could be lost by telling him who you were. Much can be gained because now he thinks I'm as crooked as he is.
What did Bascom do?
He sent Squint around the outside of the house to get the drop on you through the window. Then he rapped on the door.
Oh, but now we...
Now we have only to wait until Tonto does his part. I think we'll be safe here. I hope so. That's the chance we must take.
Safe? Safe from what?
Just wait, Abby. Tonto should be here in a few minutes now.
Upstairs in the cabin, Jed discussed the probability of the Lone Ranger joining the gang.
That hombre will be real handy for us, Squint. I already know of a couple of ways to make first-rate use of him.
Huh.
Well, what's the matter?
A newcomer that you don't even know the face of comes here, and you're all filled up with ideas as to how valuable he'll be.
Why not?
What's the matter with us men that have been with you right along?
So that's what's rankling you, Squint. Now, don't go getting yourself jealous of the new man.
Well, why not?
You wouldn't want the job I got in mind for him. What's more, I wouldn't want you to have that job. I figure you're too valuable to use up the way I got in mind for the Nash man.
Huh?
The same goes for the rest of the boys.
What do you got in mind?
That girl has got to have something happen, ain't she? We can't let her go free to tell what she suspicions about us, can we?
Wouldn't be good sense to do so.
All right, then. She's got to meet up with trouble of a real dangerous nature and maybe be found dead in a few days. The law will be right anxious to get the one that killed her. Ain't that so?
Sure.
Especially with her being the daughter of a lawman.
Well?
Just this. The law ain't going to rest until they hang a man for the murder. Now, That's where the masked man comes in. What's the matter?
Do you smell smoke?
I ain't noticed. Likely food burning. Now, what's the matter with my scheme?
The scheme being to fix it so the masked man is the one to hang? Sounds all right to me.
It is all right. Now do you see what the job I got for him is?
You might have told me about it in the first place.
You doggone idiot. Worried that old Jed was going to let his own men down. Why, Hey, I do smell smoke.
Something's burning for sure.
Seems to be over this way.
Jed! Jed, the house is on fire!
Look at that smoke. Flames. Martha, what's done it?
Get our things out of there. This house will go up like tinder.
Get water for it.
Faster, the house is afire.
Water, get some water.
Water won't help. Look at the start. Them flames start the east wing.
The west wing's in flames, too.
We gotta get out of here.
Them in the cellar.
Never mind them. Come with me, Squint.
Get my clothes. What about my clothes?
Take what you can carry and get out, Martha.
Oh, my clothes. Take them out. I gotta get my pretty clothes.
Here, Squint, give me a hand.
The smoke is getting bad.
Smoke won't hurt you. Come on, my cash and my records. I gotta get them out.
This place is going fast.
The roof will get down in a minute.
Here, take what records are in the desk. Take this box, Squint. Take it and then come this way. There's more that's gotta be saved. You come too, Slim. Hurry.
The smoke is...
Never mind the smoke. Never mind it. Get over here. My secret hiding place.
My eyes burn. The smoke.
This is it. Grab a hold. This section of the wall. Grab a hold. Here, Squint. Take a hold here. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Pull. Now throw it aside. That does it. I'll take these things. Here, Squint, hold out your arm.
Jed, you better get out of here.
Get yourself out. We'll be all right.
Hurry it up, boss.
Slim, take these bundles. You gotta save them.
I got him.
Now save yourself. Get to the outside.
What is this? The door is fastened.
Who done this?
It's fastened from the outside.
Open this door. Get this door open.
While the smoke billowed in dense clouds through the cabin, the three men fought to get the door open. They were half blinded, and the roar of the flames crept closer every minute. Then the Lone Ranger's voice rang out.
Come this way. I'll show you how to get out. I can't see.
Who's this?
If you want to get out of this fire trap, come with me.
Can't see you.
Come on, this way.
Stop holding me. I can walk.
Come on, then. You're all right. Just keep moving. The back door's right ahead. Step through it, and you'll be outside where it's safe.
This is it. Boys, we're all right, though.
My eyes is watering so I can hardly see, Bert.
It's a masked man.
Straight ahead, men. Your horses are there.
Now, you get out of the cellar.
Hey, there's the girl, too.
Yes, I'm here, but no thanks to you, men. We'd have died in that cellar if Tonto hadn't opened the outside door.
Who?
Me, Tonto.
Take those bundles from them, Tonto. That's the evidence the law wants.
The law.
What is that about the law?
What do you think? You polecats have been hiding the evidence against this gang too cleverly for the law to find. It took a trick to get you.
What's this about a trick?
Baskin, the only way to make you show the records you kept so carefully was to make you save them from the fire.
You mean that...
Tonto started this fire to smoke you all out.
Hey, my gun is gone.
Hey, mine, too.
I took your guns while you were fighting your way through the smoke. You'll need no weapons in jail.
Tricked. We've been tricked.
I ain't going to go down with you, Jed Bascom. I'm going to save my own neck. Goodbye, Brooklyn. Get up.
A woman escaped. Let her go, Tonto. These men are the ones the law wants.
And now the law will have them. The greatest wish of my father's been fulfilled. Thanks to you, masked men.
The West must be rid of men like these, Abby. Yep. Tonto, keep your guns on them while I ride into town for the sheriff.
Goodbye, masked men.
Adios. Adios, Silver!
story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.
Stay tuned next for the adventures of Superman.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When we last saw Superman, he was streaking out to sea, making use of his amazing power of flight to find the Grayson submarine, stolen by a group of foreign agents and being sailed to a foreign port. On board the underseas craft, in addition to its captain and American crew, are Lois Lane and Perry White, editor of the Daily Planet. At the moment, Dr. Deutsch, head of the espionage gang, has submerged the submarine and is about to fire a torpedo at a passing ship, just to test the submarine's firing mechanism. In the control compartment, he holds Captain Denning at gunpoint, while the torpedo-firing alarm bell rings through the steel hull.
Now that the alarm is sounded, all I must do is press this button, the one which says torpedo fire, stern tube. That ship will sink like a punctured balloon.
For the love of mercy, Deutsch, don't do it. There are innocent people aboard that ship, people who have done you no harm whatsoever.
We are wasting time. I will press the button. Deutsch! Too late! It's done. Now, listen.
Whining like a banshee, 2,000 pounds of sudden death catapult from the stern of the submarine and cuts through the water in the direction of the doomed ship, white foam bubbling in its wake. In the all-enveloping darkness, human vision is unable to follow the path of the death-dealing torpedo. But high above the rolling ocean, the eyes of Superman can see the line of white foam trailing the steel fish. For a moment, he hangs in midair, and then, realizing that the torpedo is aimed at the ship moving slowly through the night, Superman dives with the speed of light, landing in the water between the torpedo and its target.
Here she comes, and plenty fast, too. It's big enough to blow that ship in half, but not big enough to... I've got you. Now to turn you upside down and send you to the bottom of the sea. So long. That torpedo must have come from the Grayson sub. No other would fire at an American ship in these waters. You could probably pick it up better from above. No, wait. I can see its periscope dead ahead of me, heading east. I'd better follow it in the air until it comes to the surface. Up, and away!
I am afraid, Captain Denning, that we missed the ship and wasted a torpedo. Too bad.
Either that, or the kindly providence protects decent human beings from madmen like yourself.
I have already told you, Captain, that you are wasting your breath trying to insult me. At least until the submarine lies at anchor at some port in my own country. Then, if you dare open your mouth, you will suffer for it. And order the submarine brought to the surface. Proceed at full speed. And bring Kessler here to take the captain to his quarters. One of my men will be here in a moment. Remember, Captain, I have only a small group of assistants on board, but each of them is well trained. Do not attempt anything for which you might be sorry. Now, that is quick. Kessler.
Yeah?
You will show Captain Denning to his quarters and remain on guard outside. If he attempts anything you do not consider proper in a prisoner, you are not to kill him. Just render him helpless temporarily. You understand?
Yeah, Herr Doctor.
Good night, Captain Denning. And you will remain here. The good captain is not in the best of humor.
Kein Wunder, Herr Doctor.
Speak English, Hans. You ought to be of help to me in the future. You must speak English well.
Ja, Herr Doctor. It's too bad that we missed the torpedo, eh?
But not serious. We have the submarine. That is the most important thing. Are we on the surface yet?
Yeah.
Open the conning tower hatch.
You will go on deck for a breath of fresh air. Up the ladder, Hans. I will follow you. The air feels good, eh, Hans? Yeah, Doctor. All the nights are like this, with the sea smooth. We will be home in 6 days. Yeah, in 6 days. Imagine, Hans, stealing a submarine right from under the very noses. Why, it's unheard of. Hey, Doctor. What is it? I heard a strange wind. There's always wind on the sea. Just think of it, Hans. There will be headlines in the newspapers, and they will decorate Listen, us. Doctor. I hear it again. Oh, you hear wind. Well, what of it? What was that? The submarine rolls. Maybe the hatch is not fastened. It's nothing. Why are you so nervous, Hans? I will be nervous until we are across the ocean. What can happen now? You think these Americans are smart enough to realize what we have done? No. They are stupid.
Are they?
Who's there?
A stupid American.
Hans, where is he? I can't see.
There!
Near the rail.
That gun won't do you any good, my friend. Might as well toss it overboard.
Put your hands up.
Don't make me laugh.
Put them up or I shoot.
Go ahead. See how those bullets bounced off my chest? Well, that's how you're going to bounce right now. So, Americans are stupid, are they? Now, I'll just knock your thick skulls together for good measure. Ah, you boys can't take it very well. Both out cold. Well, down the hatch, one at a time. There we are. And I think I'd better follow you and have a look around. This must be the control compartment. All these dials, gauges here. Well, now to find Captain Denning. I'll try this steel door, see what it leads. It's like a corridor, a companionway. Wait. There's a man sitting outside a closed door. Not in uniform, so he must be one of the gang. Yeah, it's a good thing that light over his head is yellow and feeble. I'll sneak up behind him. Good evening.
Who are you?
Here's my calling card. That's that. He was probably guarding someone in this compartment. I think it's time to get rid of this cape and costume and become Clark Kent.
There, that's better. I haven't used Kent's high voice in so long, it sounds strange. Now, let's see who's in here. What do you want? Captain Denning?
Yes?
Hello, Captain Denning.
Now what?
Oh, I'm not one of the gang, Captain. My name is Clark Kent. I'm a reporter on the Daily Planet.
Reporter?
I know it must sound strange, but it's true. Here's my police card.
How did you get on board? We've been at sea for hours.
Well, I've been trailing this gang of agents. I tracked them down to their hideout, an old house on a cliff. And when they brought this submarine into a hidden cove near the house, I knew something was wrong, so I sneaked on board. I've been lying low ever since.
It's amazing. How did you get by the gorilla on guard?
Oh, a lucky punch fixed him. Same goes for the two who are on deck. They're sleeping peacefully in the control room.
You mean Dr. Deutsch and Hans?
Yes, Hans is one of them. The other's heavy-set with a bristling mustache.
Yes, that's Dr. Deutsch. He's head of the gang.
Oh.
Kent, we've got to work fast. What you say is true. We can regain control of the submarine. With Deutsch, Hans, and Kessler out of commission, there are only 4 of the gang left. They locked most of my crew in the stern compartment.
Oh.
Those that are free are operating the submarine at gunpoint. I have 2 revolvers hidden in my locker here. I've been saving them for just such an opportunity. Here you are. Now follow me.
Just a minute, Captain. Before we get mixed up in anything, I'd like to know the whereabouts of 2 friends of mine who are being held on board. Miss Lane and Mr. White?
Oh, they're locked in the stern with my crew. We'll free them later.
Oh, good.
Kent, you certainly flattened this bird on the floor. If Deutsch and Hans got the same treatment, they won't be on their feet for a long time. Come on down this companion-way. 2 of the gang are in the engine room and 2 more in the diving control compartment. We'll tackle the engine room first. Quiet now. Right up ahead. You swing the door open and I'll cover them. Here we are. Go ahead. Open it. Drop those guns and don't move. Listen, boy. Kent, look out!
They're looking for a fight, Captain. Let's go. How's this?
Kent, you knocked both of them out. Good heavens, man. How'd you dare wade through that hail of bullets? Were you hit?
Oh, not a scratch. Let's get the other two.
Well, my men here can handle them. Take the guns, boys, and let them have it. They get tough.
Come on.
First thing we've got to do, Kent, is radio the naval base and tell them we're on our way back at full speed. This is the happiest moment of my life, and I can thank you for it. We're going back, Kent, with the ship intact. We're going back at full speed.
All right, that's it. All right. Just one more shot, Commander Lee. You risk the can. That's it. Hold it. Thank you.
Kent, I can't begin to tell you how much the Navy appreciates what you've done.
Oh, it was nothing, Commander Lee. Nothing but good fortune.
And a right hook that would make a monkey out of Joe Louis. Well, it's all over now. We've got the submarine and the gang. Captain Denning, where is this man Deutsch?
Well, he and his first assistant Hans are being brought to the detention building by one of our men, Commander.
I think I'd better join Lois and Mr. White, Commander. They're having some coffee.
Commander Leach!
Commander Leach!
Yes?
Commander Leach!
What is it?
Those two spies. They escaped.
Escape? You mean Deutsch and Hans?
Yes, they got away. They're gone.
Well, it looks as though Commander Leeds was a little hasty when he said it was all over. With Dr. Deutsch at liberty, it isn't all over by a long shot. Someone is bound to suffer at the criminal hands of the murderous foreign agent. Deutsch is out for revenge, and the object of his revenge are Lois, White, and Kent. What will happen? And where will he strike first?
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Stay tuned next for the Texaco Star Theater starring Fred Allen.
The Texaco Star Theater. The more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast welcome you to an hour of mirth and melody. With our star comedian, Fred Allen, Kenny Baker and Portland Hoffa. Our guest, Dr. Rockwell, Maine's Ambassador of Goodwill. Win Murray and Al Goodman's Orchestra. Mr. Time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you that popular author, that man about the Book of the Month Club, that new bum that burst on the literary horizon, Fred Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And, Jimmy, what was that literary bum in your introduction? You meant bomb, of course, didn't you?
Oh, yes, Fred. You know, I understand.
Wait a minute. I don't like the way... No, there's a way of saying yes, and that isn't it, the way you said.
Yes, Fred, you know, I understand you wrote a book.
No, Jimmy, I merely wrote the introduction to a book. It's called Low Man on a Totem Pole. I wish I could write a whole book. A man who writes a book, Jimmy, leaves something for posterity.
Oh, Fred, what's a book?
Well...
Just something you put under a baby until it's big enough to reach the table.
Why, a book is a wonderful thing, Mr. Wallington. Did you ever stop to think what happens when an author writes a book? Why, printers are put to work printing the book, bookbinders go to work binding the book comes out, bookstores put on extra salesmen, newspapers hire reviewers to pan the book, thousands of bookends are sold, people read the book, their eyes get bad. Oculus business booms, pince nez factories open all over the country. Why, if enough books were written, prosperity would be permanent.
Yes, I know, Fred, but what does the author get out of his book?
Chronic malnutrition and an offer to go to Hollywood one way.
Right. Well, you'd better stick to radio.
Well, perhaps you're correct, Jimmy. I'll get back to the latest news of the week. The Texaco News presents its highlight from the world of news. Chicago, Illinois, prominent psychologist says that every woman of marriageable age in America can lure a husband into matrimony if she will follow the simple psychological principle of moral dominance. To check on the important role psychology plays in modern courtship, Texaco News questions covey of marital victims to get their opinions. First, Dr. Rolton Swab. Now, what about psychology in marriages, Dr. Swab?
Psychology proves a woman can be 40, fat, and frowsy.
Yes?
If she will follow certain psychological principles, she will snare her man every time.
What is the most effective procedure?
Well, the spinster must create a situation.
Uh-huh.
The man is led to make a statement or indulge in a harmless gesture that she interprets as compromising.
Well, how does the spinster create a situation?
Well, let us say they are sitting in the parlor, jousting psychologically.
Jousting psychologically, yes?
The spinster says, "Oh, dear, my gaiter is unbuttoned."
Yes?
He goes down on his knees to button her gaiter.
Yes?
She says, "Bogart, while you're down on your knees, if you want to propose, it'll save you getting down again another time."
Diabolically clever. Bogart's goose is cooked.
And ready to be served.
Well, is it difficult to create a situation, Doctor?
Oh, no, it's simple, really.
Yeah?
The spinster can say, "Oh, dear, I have something in my eye."
Yes?
He looks. If he is nearsighted and she has thick lips, they kiss. She faints, touche.
Another triumph for psychology.
Yes, it is as I say.
Yes?
A woman can be 40, fat, and frowsy. While there's psychology, there's hope.
Well, tell me, Dr. Swab, there seem to be more marriages out in Hollywood than any place else. Do the girls use psychology out there?
Well, they don't need psychology in Hollywood.
Why not?
Sweaters.
Thank you very much. A man with his own opinion on matters marital is Urquhart Pollen. Did psychology involve... I mean, you haven't got anything against barbers as a whole. I mean, I just wanted to know, Urquhart. Well, tell me, did psychology involve you in matrimony, Urquhart?
Psychology? What's that?
Well, I mean, how did you get married?
Oh, well, at first, I and the wife had lots of things in common.
Well, haven't you anything in common today?
Only one thing. We got a mutual loathing for each other that's nauseating to behold.
You share that among you. Well, then how did you come to get married?
That was the radio romance.
Really?
Yeah. My pleasure is going to radio shows and sitting in the audience.
Oh, it is, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's what I often ask myself, but I keep on going.
You get no answer, obviously. Well, that is all you do. You say you go to these radio shows?
Yeah. I start at 6 o'clock in the morning. All day long, I'm running from studio to studio. I ain't through till 12 o'clock at night.
You're not?
Oh.
But with this busy schedule, how did you find time to get married, Urquhart?
Well, I was going to all these radio shows.
Yeah?
And every time I come out of a broadcast, this same dame is waiting outside to get autographed.
Uh-huh.
Well, one morning, she dropped her Kleenex. I picked it up. I see. We got something in common.
You mean going to these radio shows day and night?
Uh-huh.
So you got married?
Yeah. For 2 years, we was in heaven.
Really?
Getting up early, packing our lunches, going from studio to studio.
Well, what broke up this lovely romance, Urquhart?
A violent display of extemporaneous temper.
What happened?
Last Saturday night, we come out of the Green Hornet. She refuses to go to Truth and Consequences.
Well, why?
She wanted to go to Duffy's Tavern.
You quarreled?
It was a shambles. She's kicking me. I'm giving it to her, but good.
You took your hat off while you were hitting her, I hope. A gentleman would have. Well, tell me, how did the rumpus end?
I let her up. I says to her, I says, all right, Mrs. Pollen, you go your way, and I'll go to Truth and Consequences.
Well, are you through taking your wife to radio programs?
We're going to one more show together. It's the blow-off.
And your farewell program is?
The Goodwill Court. I'm getting a divorce. Over 63 stations.
Well, I hope you get more laughs on the Goodwill Court than you got here tonight. And thank you for calling. And now, Mrs. Tupper Shank. And your home, Mrs. Shank.
I'm proud to say I'm from Ferret Falls, Arkansas.
You say you're from Ferret Falls, Arkansas?
Well, it's really Upper Ferret Falls. It's the swanky section.
Oh, it's swanky.
The swanky section has doors on the cabin.
Doors on the well. You're married, of course, Mrs. Shank.
I sure am, and I got a husband laying out in the sun to prove it.
Well, did psychology help you to get your man?
Psychology down our way don't mean nothing.
Doesn't mean anything.
Most girls who get a man has got to have stamina.
Oh, the girls do the courting, do they?
Most times. If a gal's pretty, she spills some catalog perfume on her calico and walks through the hills.
This is courting?
Yeah. The men stick their heads out for cabins to see what smells.
Yeah.
Then the girl picks the best-looking head. He's hers.
Oh, that's how... That is how the pretty girls get their husbands.
Yeah. The other kind, like me, has got to have stamina.
Well, how...
Seeing this Tupper Shank had to pass his cabin going to the well.
Yeah?
I cottoned to him. I said to myself, Fawn, if he cottons to you, you're as good as Tooken did for her.
And did he cotton to you?
Not right away. I kept passing, going to the well, but Tupper kept paying me no mind.
Tupper was playing hard to get, eh?
There was my heart roasted on Cupid's spit, and Tupper warned Amy to give it a turn.
Well, didn't you try to get Tupper to notice you?
I tried everything. One day I come by, Tupper was sleeping by the woodpile.
Yes?
I took the axe, split and stacked 4 cords of hickory, stole away and left Tupper sleeping there.
Did he say anything?
Nothing.
Didn't, huh?
Next day I come by, Tupper's trying to fix a flat on his Model T. He didn't have no jack.
And you?
I lifted up the rear end so Tupper could get at him.
Yeah. Did he say anything?
Nothing.
Well, when did Tupper propose?
Not till 2 weeks later.
What happened?
I come by, Tupper was standing there behind the plow. His horse was laying on the ground.
Yes?
Curtsying first, I says, Horse ailing, Mr. Shank?
Did Tupper answer?
He says she's dead, and I was aiming to plow the lower 40. I seen this was my chance.
This was your chance, huh? Well, what did you do?
I slipped into the horse's harness and said, let's go, Mr. Shank.
Is that when he popped the question?
No, not yet. Long toward sundown, we'd finished plowing about 4 acres.
Yes?
Tupper unharnessed me.
Yes?
And says, take the bit out of your mouth, you're mine.
Then psychology didn't help you. Psychology didn't help you win your man.
No, sir. It wasn't psychology. It was stamina. I worked like a horse to get him.
And after you were married?
I've been working like a horse ever since.
Well, no wonder you came in on all 4s, and thank you, Mrs. Tupper Shank. So, from Typicology, we turn to the realm of song and Kenny Baker. Kenny's first song tonight is Maria Elena.
you're the answer to a prayer. Maria Elena, can't you see how much I care? To me, your voice is like the echo of a sigh, and when you're near, my heart can speak above a sigh. Maria Elena, say that we will never part. Maria Elena, take me to your heart. A love like mine is great enough for two. To share this love is really all I ask of you. Like falling rain to a flower, or like the shore to the sea, like minutes are to an hour, darling, so you are to me. This I can never disguise, here in my heart or my eyes. Maria Elena, say that we will never part. Maria Elena, take me to your heart. A love like mine is great enough for two. To share this love is really all I ask of.
Thank you, Kenny. That was very nice. I enjoyed
Say,
that.
Mr. Allen, is it all right if I leave now? I got to take a flying lesson.
Well, it's night, Kenny. You can't learn to fly a plane in the dark.
Oh, we don't use planes at the Analytic Fly-by-Night Aviation School.
You mean that guy without a plane?
Sure. He does it with a barber chair and a broomstick.
You can't learn to fly that way.
Mr. Anlick says I can. He says flying is as easy as driving a car.
Oh, a fig to that stratospheric imposter. If you want the word of a man who knows something about flying, ask Larry Elliott. How about it, Larry?
As easy to learn to fly as to drive a car. But whatever your opinion on that subject may be, here's a way to combine some of the thrills of flying with all of the thrills of driving.
And that is?
Just stop at a Texaco dealer for a tank full of Sky Chief gasoline and get acquainted with the nearest thing to flying power in ground travel. This Texaco premium gasoline gives you driving luxury with responsive power. Power to get you off when you say contact, lifts you quickly to cruising speed, yet throttles down powerfully to a smooth glide in traffic. And you climb the hills as if your car had wings. So let Sky Chief make you air-minded about driving. Fly the highway with Texaco Sky Chief, the premium gasoline for those who want the best.
Maestro Goodman and 25 men who have walked with Stokowski, not with him, but right behind him, have just finished coming through the rock. And now, ladies and gentlemen, oh, hello, Portland.
Hello.
Well, now, look. Now, look, I'm very busy, Portland, unless you have something important.
I just want to show you my new dress.
It's very pretty. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
But you didn't look at it.
Well, so it's a dress. If I were a moth, I might be interested.
But it's all cotton.
Well, so what?
You don't understand. This is National Cotton Week.
Oh, it's National Cotton Week.
Aren't you going to celebrate?
Why, I am celebrating, Portland. I've got cotton in my ears, so I can't hear these jokes I'm telling. I've got on cotton stockings to get even with a silkworm who double-crossed me years ago. And I can't get my vest off because my suspenders are cotton the lining. It's not good, but it fits in. How smoothly it fits in there.
You're observing Cotton Week all right.
Yes, and if you stick... it's better if I had a good joke that didn't fit in there instead of a bad one that goes right in there. Yes, I'm observing Cotton Week, Portland. If you'll stick around, I'll sing Bail, Bail, the gang's all here in just a minute. Well, so much for hilarity. Now, on with our guest. Show him in, Portland. He's waiting outside.
Oh, there's a man out there, but he can't be our guest.
Well, why not? What does he look like?
Have you seen those pictures? And underneath it says, send this boy to camp.
Yeah?
This man looks like the boy 20 years later.
20 years? You mean after he got back from the camp?
No, after they forgot to send him.
Well, he's our guest, Portland. You have described him to a T. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to present a man who has made an exhaustive study of humanity's ills and is prepared at this very minute to prescribe its cures, the one and only Dr. Rockwell.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Doc, it certainly is a pleasure.
Now, wait a minute. Just a minute before we start, Fred. You've got to tell me what I do here. What is this thing here?
Well, this thing here is the microphone.
Oh, I see. And who are all these people sitting out here? These are not your relatives.
No, Doc, they're not. That's the audience. We call that the audience.
Oh, I see. The audience, yes. Now, who are these men over here in that goldfish bowl under glass?
The men under glass
there?
Well, they're technicians, directors, and vice presidents, you see. We have to keep them under glass like that because they mildew very easily.
Now we're all set. I hope you don't mind me asking so many questions, Fred.
Why, not at all, Doc.
You see, Fred, it's been so long since I've worked in radio, I've forgotten what these things are.
Well, you should have photographed the studio before you left. Well, why haven't you been working, Doc? No sponsor?
No, it's not that. I've just given up work entirely, Fred. I have a new philosophy.
You don't want to work?
No, sir. Work is the curse of this generation. Everybody works too hard. Now, look at you. You're there a nervous wreck. Your face twitching, your hands trembling, those stomachs hanging down under your eyes, and why? Why? Because you work 18 and 20 hours a day putting these radio shows together.
Well, I know, Doc.
Now look at me on the other hand. Here I stand, the picture of health, rosy cheeks, clear eyes, a firm hand, calm, radiating contentment. And why? Because I refuse to work.
But after all, Doc, everybody can't stop working.
Why not? All you need is a little willpower and no job. Here it is, Fred, boiled down. If you want to lead a full life, there's only one solution.
And what is that?
Join the Rockwell Layoff, Loaf, and Live a Little Longer Guild.
A person who joins your guild doesn't work at all?
No, well, he uses discretion. Most men work so hard they have to have a hobby to take their minds off their jobs. For instance, I know a bank president who collects lint.
Lint as a hobby?
Yes. He has a dark flannel suit. He goes around visiting families that'll let him hold the baby. When he gets home, he picks off the lint. That's his hobby.
Well, don't you have hobbies in the Rockwell Layoff, Loaf, and Live a Little Longer Guild?
Yes, but we reverse the process. When a man loafs and lays around, he's bound to overdo it. So he's got to have a hobby. And what's his hobby? Work. That's why I'm here working tonight. I'm indulging in my hobby.
Well, that is some philosophy. Tell me, Doc, do you think if people stopped working, it would solve their problems?
No, not altogether. There's other things that complicate modern life. People worry too much.
People worry about what?
Money. Today, people are worried about inflation. It's silly.
You have a remedy?
Yes, sir, and the solution is simple. What causes inflation? The government prints a lot of new money. People spend it too fast, and what happens? Inflation.
What is your solution?
You throw away all that old money, and you print up some Rockwell oomph money.
What is Rockwell oomph money?
Well, I'll tell you. You take the money we're using today. Whose pictures are on those bills? Washington, Lincoln, Polk, and Andy Jackson. There's no sentiment attached to that money, and people spend it. They play the horses and pinball machines.
Ah, but with your oomph currency...
Well, on the $1 bill instead of Washington, you have Lana Turner.
Lana Turner on the $1 bill.
On the $5 bill, Hedy Lamarr. And on the $10 bill, Gypsy Rose Lee.
Yes. Well, who is on the $100 bill?
Gypsy Rose Lee, but 2 choruses later.
Well, it sounds like a great idea.
You see, men won't spend that oomph money. They'll frame it, treasure it, keep it to look out on rainy days. Inflation is going to be stopped right there in its tracks.
Doc, you are a genius.
Oh, thank you, Fred.
Now tell me, is there anything else wrong with the world?
The world's all right. It's the people in it, Fred.
Well, what would you say is the greatest hazard in this country today?
The greatest? Well, I'd say the great American stomach. People don't know how to eat.
You mean too many people are on diet?
Not only on diets, they're overdoing it. I know a man who went on a parsley diet. For 2 years, he ate nothing but parsley. Today, that man is so full of parsley that every time he sees a salmon, he lays down beside it.
A horrible case, I declare.
Yes, sir. Now, let me give you another case. A man went on a strict spinach diet. He overdid that. Today, he's got so much sand in his system, every time he sits down, he sandpapers the chair.
You don't say.
Yes, sir. Another man I know taking cod liver oil to get phosphorus. He's overdone that.
Are there any ill effects?
Ill effects? He's so full of phosphorus that every time he scratches his nose, it lights up.
In other words, people bring on most of their own trouble.
Exactly. They don't live right. People don't eat properly. One thing they're doing, they're mixing up their vitamins.
Mixing their vitamins? How do you mean?
Well, people don't eat their vitamins in order. A man eats vitamin A and then eats vitamin D. The stomach is down there wondering what's happened to vitamin B and C. See what I mean?
Yes, I do. It's quite clear.
And the stomach gets all bewildered. It spreads to the brain, and the man can't think.
Well, that sounds logical.
Now, you take the average man. Average man will eat raw carrots to get vitamin C and prevent night blindness, and then he'll forget to drink a cup of black coffee.
Well, why the black coffee?
Well, there's no sense in being able to see in the dark if the man doesn't stay awake nights to see what there is.
Now, wait a minute, Doc. How did we ever get involved in this? Now, you started off here a little while ago telling me I ought to quit working.
Oh, yeah. Well, the point is, Fred, why work? You're only going to make more money, and money is the source of all worry.
Oh, that's ridiculous,
No,
Doc.
sir. No, sir. I'll prove it, Fred. A boy leaves the country, comes to the city. He spends 50 years working like a dog so he can save enough money to retire and live in the country again. If he'd stayed in the country in the first place, he'd have saved the wear and tear on his system and the price of a round-trip ticket to New York.
Well, that is true, I must say.
Now, let me tell you a little story. I knew a Mr. X. He lived a quiet life up in Booth Bay Harbor.
Yeah?
He used to fish a lot, but the wind used to blow the tobacco out of his pipe. So finally, he cut the toe off one of his wife's shoes and clamped it over the end of his pipe to keep the tobacco in.
What happened?
What happened? Women tourists saw his wife with her toe sticking out of one shoe. They spread the word around, and women came from near and far to have him cut off the ends of their shoes so their toes would stick out.
And?
The open-toed shoes caught on. Business boom. Mr. X had to move to New York. The mad pace got him. Homes, memos, conferences. He had no time to eat. For breakfast, he grabbed an aspirin. For lunch, he swallowed a bicarbonate. For supper, he had heartburn. He ruined his stomach. Mr. X died at 38 and left $2 million.
A successful man.
Yes, but gone at 38. On the other hand, let's take a man we'll call Mr. Y. He's still up in Booth Bay Harbor.
Yeah?
He never done a day's work in his life. Mr. Y gets up in the morning, eats breakfast, and sits down. He gets up again to eat dinner and sits down. Gets up again to eat supper and sits down. You see, he keeps his stomach in one position. That's prolonged. What's the result? Today, Mr. Y is 87 years old, is cutting his third set of teeth, and he's still sitting down.
But if he doesn't work, Doc, how does Mr. Y live?
Well, once a week he gets a small check from the government.
But where does the government get this money to give to Mr. Y?
From the inheritance tax of that Mr. X who went to the city and worked himself to death. You see, Fred, QED, money has occurred.
Well, thanks, Doc, for this illuminating dissertation on futility.
Perfectly all right.
Now, we intended to pay you for your appearance here tonight, but after what you said about money bringing worry and unhappiness, I'm not going to jeopardize your utopian status.
Well, that's all right, Fred. Perfectly all right, but I've been doing a little thinking, too. You know, just because I haven't worried doesn't mean that I'm selfish. If I don't that money, you're only to have more to worry about.
Are you sorry, Doc? Another day?
No, sir, you've got to suffer.
Now, me bear my
No,
thoughts, Doc.
sir, I'm going to relieve you of some of that trouble, and I insist.
In other words, money may be trouble, but as that trouble goes,
I can take it, Fred.
Something tells me you certainly can, and thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Wynn is in a new show at Radio City Music tomorrow and gets in a local workout tonight singing Cheer Up. Cheer up, Wynn.
Don't fret because of rain. You'll get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, best is yet to come. Miss the boat today, there's that wrong way. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. Just sing a happy song. Someone may come along. Heads up, can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but got a mile to share. But what's the big come? So won't you cheer up? The best is yet to come. In old Tibet, the people don't hurry. They live weary right through. They have an antidote for worry. I'll pass the secret on to you. Don't fret because of rain. You'll get sunshine just the same. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. You missed the boat today. There's another on the way. Cheer up, for the best is yet to come. Sing a happy song. Someone may come along. Heads up, can't you see that silver lining shining? You're not a millionaire, but you've got a smile to share. Cheer up, what's the use being calm? So won't you cheer up? The best is to
And now a special presentation of the Texaco Roundtable.
Mr. Olin is now taking his place at the table. Purely extemporaneous and undiscussed questions of experts. Yes, Fred.
Thank you, Jim. Tonight, our of experts consists of only an expert. And what is your name, friend?
Jimmy Wallington, Bud.
Oh, all right, Mr. Wallington. Here is the question of the week. If you have a car in your family, a well-behaved little car,
yes,
and you catch that car smoking, should that car be...
No, Miss Allen. If you're smoked, it's been put enough.
You're sure, Mr. Wallington?
Absolutely, Miss Allen. The maker of your car never designed it to be a smoker. For smoke trailing from the exhaust means trouble. It's frequently a sign of excessive engine wear. And all that can be done then to stop the waste of gas, oil, and power is a costly job. But there's something every car owner can now. And that's to change to an insulated oil. Insulated Haviland. Texaco's premium motor oil that helps prevent needless engine wear. Haviland is insulated especially to stand up under the high temperatures developed in warm weather, where ordinary oils can break down and invite wear. Haviland is distilled, too, free from carbon-forming impurities that also induce wear. So if you want to take a big step toward preventing excessive wear in your motor, refill now with insulated Haviland at your nearest Texaco dealer. Texaco Star Theater continues after a short pause for your station identification. This is the Columbus Broadcast.
WAC, music is in your dial.
Yes, Kenny?
Where's Mr. Allen?
Oh, he's out in the hall, autographing copies of his book.
Well, we don't need F.A. I can keep the show going. Ladies and gentlemen, that last number was Same Old Story, played by Al Goodman and his Pie-Eyed Pipers. Oh, hello, Porty.
Hello.
Well, here comes Mr. Goodman.
Hello, Portia.
Hello, Mr. Goodman.
Hello, Kenny.
Hello, Mr. Goodman.
Hello.
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 Well, Portland.
Well, Kenny?
Well, Portland and Kenny. This is comedy. Even my orchestra is laughing.
Oh, we're a riot. Who says I can't keep this show going? Who needs F.A.?
You do, Junior.
Oh, hello, F.A.
Say, what's going on around here? All those hellos? It sounds like a telephone backfiring.
Oh, I was only trying to fill in till you got back, F.A.
Yes, Mr. Allen. We're waiting to congratulate you on your book.
Well, thanks, Portland. Only I didn't write the book. I wrote the introduction.
Oh, just the introduction.
In music, the introduction is nothing. 4 bars.
Now, wait a minute. Just a minute. Don't underestimate my introduction to Low Man on a Totem Pole. An introduction is the most important part of a book. If people read the introduction, they can't help reading the book.
Why not, Mr. Allen?
Well, it's curiosity. It's like smelling a package of Limburger cheese. You know what's inside can't be that bad.
In night school, Goodman is learning all about writing. Very interesting.
Yes, it is. And all it takes is a pencil and paper.
In the Stone Age, they're not having on what to write. No pencils, no paper.
Well, they wrote in the Stone Age, didn't they?
What else? They are chiseling letters on big slabs.
Slabs.
Gosh, Mr. Allen, now that you're an author, I guess you'll start smoking a strong pipe, wearing a beret, and letting your hair grow.
Oh, I don't think I'll go that far, Kenny.
You got a part.
Well,
You can get a pretty old attic cheap.
Well, I don't want to bother.
Oh, no bother at all, F.A. I can be out of there by tomorrow morning.
Now, don't break your leash on my account, Kenny.
Gosh, Mr. Allen, what if you become a famous writer and go to Hollywood and write a picture for Jack Benny? Wouldn't that be funny?
I doubt it, Portland. Not with that female impersonator you mentioned. I hear that Benny moved into the YW this week. He's living the part.
Now that you are mentioning writers, my brother-in-law is a writer.
What did he ever write?
Yesterday, he is writing Little Caporis in the 4th at Belmont.
All right. I'm not starting with you. Now, let's forget about writing.
But, F.A., you can't stop writing now.
Yes, you've got such a good start, Mr. Allen.
You really think so?
Sure, F.A. Now you're ready to write something big. A monumental work. A book the world is waiting for.
For instance?
The Life of Kenny Baker.
Oh, fine. The Life of Kenny Baker. Or The Stoop Who Conquered. Some biography.
I'll take it. Hello? Just a minute. It's long distance, Kenny, for you.
Thanks, Forty. Hello? Oh, it's you. Now, look, brother. You asked me what to do. I told you. It didn't work. And that's your tough luck. Now, don't bother me anymore. That's final.
Gosh, is somebody pesting you, Kenny?
Yeah, you try to do people a favor and there's...
What's the trouble, Kenny?
Oh, it's nothing important. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Why can't you write a book about me, F.A.?
Because you're still an adolescent.
Mr. Allen is right, Penny.
Certainly.
Books are generally written about a great love.
A great love? Well, why did you say so?
Kenny, you had a great love?
Oh, I can see her now. Together we roamed the countryside, over hill and dale. All the fellows envied me, for in the whole village, she was the most beautiful, and she was mine.
Kenny, I've never heard you mention love before.
One doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, F.A.
No.
I can see her now, trim, graceful, the kind of fellow likes to be seen out with. Then came the heartbreak.
Penny, not...
Yes. One night I left her on the porch.
You can't write a book about a scooter. Why, a scooter only rates one paragraph in a Sears Roebuck catalog.
Roebuck, he says.
Yes, I said Roebuck.
A Roebuck is what you're renting in Central Park on the lake.
You mean rowboat, Mr. Goodman.
Don't encourage him, Portland. Let's not even give any outward sign that he is here.
Outward, you are putting on the Roebuck. A Roebuck with an outward motor.
And now, when we want an encore, we'll ask you.
Naturally. When you're finishing with a boat, you are throwing out the encore.
That's anchor it is. And before you say it, my anchor is aroused to the breaking point. Now go away.
Oh, hello. It's for you again, Penny.
Thanks, Forty. Hello? Now, look, you. You wanted some advice. I gave it to you. So don't come crying to me because it didn't work. And stop bothering me.
Kenny, who is that?
Oh, he's just a guy. He's nobody. It's nothing important.
Oh, you see, Kenny, that's just why no one can write a book about you. You're not important. The people you associate with are not important. You'll never be a book subject until you are important.
understand that. I'm going to tell that guy off once and for all. Now listen, buddy. You had an idea. You asked my opinion. I told you what to do, and it didn't work. So you got yourself in a spot. Now, don't expect me to pull you out of it. And once and for all, stop pestering me.
Kenny, for Pete's sake, who is that calling you on the long-distance phone?
Oh, it's that guy Hess. Hess?
Why, of Hess, of all of Woods.
Yes, and he better quit calling me up, too.
Why, Kenny, I apologize. You're no nobody. You're a celebrity. I'll write a book about you. You know Hess.
Sure. I told him not to take that jump.
The jump? You told Hess to jump?
If he'd listened to me, he wouldn't be lying with that broken ankle over in Jersey.
Jersey? What is Hess doing in Jersey?
He's working as a Palisades. I told him not to jump off that high springboard in the swimming pool.
Kenny, what Hess are you talking about?
My cousin Seymour. Seymour Hess.
Seymour Hess. Music myself.
Your attention I asked for a while to a song I'm going to sing you. It's about a pretty yeller gal I met while I was walking, and she threw such a glance at me. She was pretty and as sweet as a flower, such clothes you never did see. She'd a darling little bonnet with a flower garden on it, had the yeller gal that winked at me. Oh, my, she looked so sweet, and she dressed so neat with her tilting hoops and pretty little feet as she went skipping along. The pretty little yeller gal I met while I was walking, and she threw such a glance at me. As she skipped across the gutter, my heart went in a flutter for the yeller gal that winked at me. I cannot sing the old songs I sung long years ago, for heart and voice would fail me, and foolish tears would flow, for bygone hours come o'er my heart with each familiar strain. I cannot sing the old songs or dream those dreams again. Those dreams I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm a glad Louisiana, my true love for the sea. It rained all night the day I left. The sun so hot I froze dead. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that my sponsor, the Texas Company, has donated to the United States government the radio time it has purchased for the period from July 1st to October 1st. The Texas Company will donate this hour on this coast-to-coast network to the government to be used in any way it sees fit in behalf of national defense. In accepting this gift of time, Mr. Henry Morgenthau, Jr., Secretary of the Treasury, wired to Mr. W.S.S. Rogers, President of the Texas Company. I quote, "The Treasury Department accepts with pleasure your gracious offer of the use of your radio time over the Columbia Broadcasting System beginning July 2nd. Your government sincerely believes that through such cooperation and helpfulness as you have shown, the plan of saving for defense will become a reality to all Americans. Active participation by all of our citizens will assure for America a more solid economy and a more secure future. We will make good use of these radio facilities by bringing the radio audience a program of wholesome entertainment and of messages that concern every American home." Signed, Henry Morgenthau, Jr., Secretary of the Treasury, unquote. Today, Secretary Morgenthau announced that $257,646,000 worth of defense savings bonds were sold in the first 17 days of the month of May. Don't forget that every defense bond you buy is an investment in your country. And now, the Texaco Workshop players, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight they present a blood-curdling mystery, The Great Rumba Dancer Murder, or Who Killed Carmen Feitelbaum. The scene, the famous New York nightclub, the El Clippo. Her rousing rumba just completed. At a small table sits the flaming Latin dancer, Carmen Feitelbaum. Her dark eyes brood as the waiter serves Carmen a borscht Cuba Libre. Idly she toys with the boiled potato in her Cuba Libre, when suddenly the lights go out. A shot is heard. The lights go on. The beautiful queen of the rumba lies flat on her tambourine. Dead. Who killed La Flemme, Carmen Feitelbaum?
Okay.
Quiet. Quiet, please. I repeat. Who killed Carmen Feitelbaum?
I repeat, who killed?
Now, just a minute, Heckler. Who is fomenting that verbal sabotage?
I am.
Well, come up here just a minute,
better I'll come up. Come on, man.
Okay, Luther.
Just a second. Who are you two?
How do you like that? He don't even recognize us, Lou.
Quit stalling, Ellen. We're Mr. and Mrs. Luther Snell.
Snell?
With an M.
That's what you think.
The same joke he told the last time, Lute, remember?
Yeah, if you can remember them stale jokes, you ought to remember us.
Say, that's right. You two were here last fall squawking about radio.
Yeah, and we're still squawking.
Radio ain't getting no place. It's in a rut.
Well, how do you mean?
The programs is always the same. There's never nothing new.
Well, that's radio, sir.
That's what they all say. That's radio. Can't nothing different happen?
Well, I'm sorry. I've got to find out who killed Carmen Feitelbaum.
Okay, let's go, Mel.
Now, wait a minute, folks. Don't go away mad. Just what shows in radio upsets you?
Well, them guys that come on at 6 o'clock in the morning with off-key singing and setting up exercises.
Oh, you mean those Cheerio chaps, those early birds who sound like this?
It's 6 a.m. Happy Harry time, folks. Upsy daisy, sleepyhead. Let's hop out of that little old bed and start our little old setting up exercises, huh? Now take a deep breath. Exhale. Well, here's our first exercise. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, touch the floor. 3, 4, up one more. 5, 6, 4 high kicks. We're having fun this morning. 7, 8, stand up straight. 9, 10, and down again. 11, 12, rest yourself. And now we stop to inhale. Oh, very good, class. Some fun, eh?
There you are, folks. Is that the chap who gets your gold?
Yeah, he ain't human.
Nobody can beat that cheerful at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, always laughing.
If only once that guy would say what's really on his mind.
All right, now let's see how happy Harry might sound some morning if he really said what was on his mind.
Hiya, dopes. This is Happy Harry. Happy I'm saying I'm nuts. Ooh, have I got a hangover. My mouth tastes like a mink just checked out. Any cluck who's up this early ought to have his head examined. Well, here's your first exercise, you saps. Don't open your windows. Take a deep breath of that same air you've been breathing all night. Ooh. Okay, here's your first exercise. Put both hands firmly around your windpipe. Now, as I count, you start squeezing. Well, let's go. 1, 2, give a squeeze. 3, 4, squeeze and squeeze. 5, 6, squeeze and squeeze until you drop down dead. Now, let that be a good lesson to you.
There you are. There you are, folks. How was that?
Well, that's more like it.
A pleasure.
Well, if that's all you wanted...
Hey, wait a minute. We ain't through yet. What about them commercials?
What commercial?
Where they're always telling you what they do to the product.
Yeah, what they do in the factory.
Oh, you mean this sort of message?
Housewives, have you tried Sweeney's Secret? The new scientific ketchup that is the talk of hamburger eaters everywhere? Each tomato used in Sweeney's Secret is scientifically ripened.
Each tomato is scientifically picked.
Each tomato is scientifically blended.
Each tomato is fired from a cannon in the factory.
Other ketchups try to duplicate the superb flavor of Sweeney's Secret. They have failed. Why? Because Sweeney's Secret is made by a special patented secret process. Sweeney takes each tomato personally. Sweeney goes into a dark closet. When Sweeney comes out, that tomato is ketchup. What Sweeney does to each tomato in that closet, no one knows. That is Sweeney's Secret. Buy a bottle tonight.
That is what you had in mind.
Yeah, who knows what's going on?
Who cares what Sweeney is doing in his closet?
Sure. Ketchup is ketchup, ain't it?
Yeah, give us commercials we can understand.
Oh, you mean something plain and simple like this.
Housewives, have you tried Chadwick's chutney, the new tomato relish? There's no mystery about Chadwick's chutney. Here's how it's made. Chadwick takes a tomato in his 2 bare hands. He wrings the tomato out into a bottle. It's Chadwick's chutney. That's all there is to it. May I drop dead at this microphone. Chadwick wrings out a tomato. Housewives, if you want a chutney that's handmade, try Chadwick's.
That is what you mean.
Right. With Chadwick's chutney, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, Chadwick comes right out with it. He ain't going into no dark closets doing things to tomatoes like that Sweeney guy.
Well, maybe you're right, but I've got to get back to my murder mystery.
Wait a minute. How about them double-up quiz programs?
Well, what's wrong with them? The prize money just keeps doubling.
Yeah, but why are the first 4 questions always pushovers?
Nobody can miss the first 4 questions if he tries.
What bothers you is this.
And now, radio's most popular quiz show, Take It or Leave It. And here is your master of ceremonies, Bob Craven.
Yes, sir, folks. Our Take It or Nothing quiz is off to a flying start. For each question the contestant answers correctly, his money doubles. Now, here's our first contestant. And the first question for $1, sir. What is your name?
Hyman Sherman.
Herman Sherman is your name. That is correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have won $1. You want to try for $2?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, here's your second question. How are you feeling? Dopey. You feel like your look. That's $2. How are your folks?
Oh, they're fine.
$4. Have you got a match?
Yeah.
$8. How was the weather outside?
I didn't notice.
$16. Now, for $32, are you nervous?
Yeah.
You certainly are, and that wins you $32. Now, Herman Sherman, do you want to try for $64?
Okay.
All right. For $64, what was the middle name of the fireman who was in the engine with Casey Jones the night Casey Jones made his last run?
Who is Casey Jones?
That is close. Casey Jones was standing right next to the fireman right there in that there engine cab. What was that man's name? It was Aloysius. Well, you lose the $64, Herman, but thank you for a grand try. That is what you resent.
Yeah, they horse
mess around with them easy questions.
And when they get to the $64, they give you a brain buster.
And they're polite to the dope, a grand try.
You mean you'd rather...
If a contestant a dunce?
This, enjoy $1. Who wrote the Greek comedy Lysistrata?
Lysistrata?
That's right. Who wrote Lysistrata?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, honest, I don't.
Why, you chowder head, of all the cretins I've ever had on the program, your head looks like a skin popover.
I ain't getting no dollar.
There's only one thing you're getting. You're getting out of here. Beat it, jerk. Well, how is that?
Okay, that guy was a sap. He got told off.
Yeah, there ought to be more telling off in radio.
Well, if that's
Look,
all...
have you got time for one more peep, Mr. Allen?
Well,
It's them theme songs.
Which theme song?
You know them musical jingles that advertise stuff telling how good the product is? How about hearing a theme song that says how bad the stuff is for a change?
All right, I'll have our house quartet, 3 clucks and a yuck, render the first theme song. Give us that Shapiro noodle theme, boys. 1, 2.
Don't buy Shapiro's noodles. They're not fit for poodles. They're cheesy and sleazy. They'll make you feel punk. They cook limp as jelly. They'll ruin your stomach. So take our advice, folks, and don't buy this junk. Don't be a chump.
Well, folks, are you satisfied?
You bet. Thanks a lot, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with radio that television won't fix.
Well, thank you for spoiling my program. Now, I won't have time to finish that mystery I started.
Hey, what's the solution? Who killed Carmen Feitelbaum?
Well, confidentially, Carmen heard our quartet rehearsing and committed suicide. Well, that's radio. That's And now, here is a news item on defense. Today in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the American Petroleum Institute, holding its 11th mid-year meeting, made an announcement of real importance. And if Larry Elliott will read this telegram received tonight, we'll have the news firsthand.
Quote, tonight the American Petroleum Institute is happy to report at this meeting in Tulsa a full state of preparedness on the part of petroleum. America has over half the world's total supply of oil. Our reserve supply is the greatest in history. We have all the oil needed for the manufacturing stages of our defense program. We have all the aviation fuel we need, all the oil for the tanks, trucks, and armored cars, for the fighting ships we have today, or those planned for our defense in the future. End of quotation. Our nation again finds the petroleum industry ready, willing, and able to defend the American way.
Thank you, Larry, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Well, that's the way it was on May 21st, 1941, a Wednesday night, just like tonight. I will tell you what we are going to listen to tomorrow night, May 22nd, 1941, in just a little bit. Now, please, if you like this content, I can't stress enough, please subscribe to this channel. And if you want to know when a new upload premieres, because sometimes we do a couple premieres in the morning as well. We do, 1938, we premiere in the morning. Those are some videos that I had uploaded before when I had another channel, but now I've found some new content to add to those, and if you haven't heard them, they are that's kind of interesting to listen to as well, because you can see how far radio has gone just in those 3 years, 1938 to 1941. The programs sound vastly different, and it's kind of a remarkable thing. And also, if you like this content, please donate to the channel. We have 2 links in the description section to this video. We have a link to a GoFundMe and a link to PayPal. You can donate either way. Now, if the link to GoFundMe is obsolete when you're watching this video, let's say you're watching it 3-4 years from now, I think GoFundMe times out, but I'm not 100% sure. Go to the description section to this video, or to this channel, and there'll be an updated link there, or go to our to a more recent video, maybe our most recent video, and you will see an updated link there. Because this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. I know you might be seeing ads on this channel, but none of that revenue goes to me. I don't see a dime time. It goes to whoever owns copyrights on some of the music that is played on here, some of the movies that are played, and maybe even some of the radio programs that are not in public domain that we share. So please consider donating to the channel. We make nothing from this. I do it just for my love of vintage radio and my love of history, and to be able to share this stuff with you. Okay, tomorrow night, we are going to have the news of the world. So we are finally getting another newscast in there. And then we're going to have the Goldbergs, Speaking of Liberty, an excerpt from the Baby Snooks program, and the Rudy Valley Seal Test show with Carmen Miranda as his guest. Because actually, it's kind of a topical program in a way, because President Roosevelt was meeting with a lot of Latin American countries, and that is referred to in the Rudy Valley Seal Test program when he has Carmen Miranda on there as his guest. So I think you'll enjoy that. It's going to be a great radio. You know what? Every night is a great radio night. Pure, wholesome entertainment and a little bit of World War II propaganda thrown in. So come back again tomorrow night. And until then, my name is Henry Chop. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.